Welcome to session 5 of CKC Pivoting Your Career. I'm Carrie Patterson and I have over 20 years experience in the field, and I wanted to share with you some tips and tricks that I have taught my team to help them navigate their careers. Pivoting Your Career is a 6 session series, and it begins with core values, starting with your heart, into your strength, into your personal brand, what you want to be known for, putting it together of self discovery of what type of roles you'll be great at. And then we're into the networking. This is another application for all the information that you gathered about yourself and your targeted audience of where you want to go with your career. Fun fact, did you know that there is a such thing called the hidden job market? And these job opportunities that are usually the high end, the high paying ones, you find through people you meet and people you have connections with and people who understand what you're capable of. So if you really want an awesome opportunity, you're not going to find it by searching jobs on LinkedIn. You're going to find it through your network. So that's our topic for today. Why is it valuable? Why do you care to have one? And how to make it meaningful journey for you and your career. Networking is a journey, it truly is, but it has lots of benefits associated with it. First off, you build relationships. You get to meet people you wouldn't otherwise meet. You also learn a lot. You understand a market vertical. You start to understand who are the leaders in that vertical, what companies are in that vertical, who is kind of the cutting edge, who's more the conservative, who aligns more to your brand. You start to learn all of that. Also, you have the opportunity to present yourself. What do you want to be known for? How do you want people to feel and experience you? It gives you an opportunity to share your point of view and have people start to talk about you in their circles in ways that brings meaningful jobs your way. It's also an opportunity to gain access to information you wouldn't otherwise know. If you're not out there having the conversation, you won't know what people are talking about. Sure, you can look on Forbes and LinkedIn and Harvard Business Review, but that's not going to give you the inside story. And that's what you're really after, is what's happening behind closed doors that companies are talking about, and how do you align yourself to be in a position where people will tap you on the shoulder. The other is be able to develop. You can be at meetup groups. You can go to conferences and learn about subjects that you didn't know before, that there aren't books written about, that there aren't degrees written about, but that you can go have discussions with people and start to learn and grow and develop and be able to see, okay, what I didn't know before, I know people that I can go to get answers from. And then you continue to start to build that knowledge so that later in your career, people tap you on this shoulder as the expert in a particular field, in a particular market. What's the process of networking? You already know what this is, but I just want to point out a few things. One, in your identifying who you want to be connected with, companies you want to be connected with, really hone in on who are the people that you currently know that's going to get you connected with people you want to know. And then start reaching out. Seek advice. How do I meet these people? Where do they go? What's important to them? What problems are they trying to solve? And then share who you are. How do you stand out? What's unique about you? How do people remember you if they have someone in mind that they're talking to and they start talking about opportunities, that you're first in their mind to come up with and share your information. And then lastly, don't forget to say thank you. It's so simple and it means so much to people to know that you're grateful that someone spent time to help you out. A book. I always like to share about a book. This one's John Maxwell's. It's Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. And in his book, he talks about the 5 principles and practices to develop the crucial skill of connecting. And that includes finding common ground, keeping your communication simple, capturing people's interest, inspiring people, staying authentic in all your relationships. It's so important to do that. So, my story, this is a true story. When I was at Cisco, I went to an NC Tech event and I met a lady there who was the owner of Diplomacy Matters, and she works with diplomats in Washington, D.C., in the Office of Science and Technology. And at that particular time, we were talking about green technology. And so I was able to invite diplomats to North Carolina, the state of North Carolina, and showcase what Cisco has been doing. And so it was a great event, got to meet diplomats and so forth and have lunch at the governor's palace. And, it was just great experience. Well, from that journey, I was exposed to government affairs at Cisco. And I was like, oh, okay, this whole office of an organization I didn't know before, but I got to meet people there and understand what they do on behalf of the company. Well, when I left Cisco and I went to another company, I started Googling people in roles that I happen to connect with that are outside of my job role. And that one was government affairs. So when I went to work for Optum, I reached out to government affairs. And when I joined the company, had conversation with them. I don't know how our jobs could intersect, but just wanted you to know I'm here. And we ended up doing these intern programs. Long story short, government affairs introduced us to DHHS, who came to our office and actually talked about the opioid crisis, what the government was concerned about that, and what solutions they were looking for to solve some of the crisis that was going on in our state. So that was just amazingly fun and just a great connection. And had I not reached out, we wouldn't have had such a strong connection and a strong understanding of the problem we were trying to solve. So your network not only helps you in being able to get another job, but it also helps you in your current job to solve problems faster, to understand problems better, and to make connection you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. So don't underestimate the value and the power of what a network is. Have you ever heard the term personal board of directors? Well, really, you should have one. And those are people that are close to you, that understand your value that you bring to the market, and who can introduce you to people you wouldn't otherwise get introduced to. And I set up this little target diagram because you want people in your circle. And it's as close as where you are today that can give you advice on your team. Hey, you didn't show up well today. Or, if you just smile more, people will engage faster. Little things of advice on your team. And then look for someone in your organization. If you're at a big company, where they have several departments, then in your organization, in your company, and then in your industry. You need people out as far and wide as your particular industry goes so that you can meet with these people either one on one or as a team of people of, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is where I want to go. Can you help me navigate there? And what a great honor to be on people's personal board of directors. I've served on that on both sides. So I've had people on my board of directors that give me honest feedback and advice, and then I've also done that for other people, and it's an honor, it's work, and it's a privilege, but it's something that is so vital that a lot of people don't ever do. Some people call them their mentors, coaches, whatever you want to call them, but just make sure you have people that are close to you and as far out away from you that you can start to understand the direction of how things are going and be aware of things that you wouldn't otherwise know. So, I want to leave you with an analogy. So, networking is just like growing a garden. It's a time commitment. It requires patience on your part. You're not going to get to the people you want immediately. It does take time. And people, as they get to know you more and more, the more introductions you'll get. You're going to have to care for it and nurture it. It's not just a one time deal and forget about it. You have to work at it. You got to weather the storms. Life happens, COVID happens. There are crazy stuff that happens in this world, and you just got to weather through it and then know when it's time to prune. Not all relationships are going to be beneficial for you, and sometimes you just have to cut it off. You also want diversity. You want to know more of what's happening around you besides just in your particular silo or marketplace. And then lastly, know that not all seeds grow. Just because you have connections, just because you meet people, does not mean that it's going to be someone that you can rely on or that's willing to support you. And that's okay. You need to be comfortable with that and say not all relationships are going to work out, but I'm going to continue to stay focused and work towards my goal to help my career. So just focus on you, take care of you, and keep working hard and let the results speak for themselves.